Well, hello everyone and welcome back. We're just going to pick up straight where we left off yesterday. So if you didn't see yesterday's video that we said was going to be part one of the winter prep and cleaning, I suggest you go and watch that first. But a quick little run through was we went through full maintenance on the drum, deep clean on that, the 4-inch lines from the bottom drains, a purge and a clean, the folds in the liner, and a good sweep out of the bottom of the pond. So today we're going to concentrate on the next half of the system, which is up on the back decking. It is the Backy River, which is located underneath the centre seat, which I'll show you in a minute. But first we're going to clean out the tank which feeds the Backy River, so we'll just go up there and see that. Fish are happy enough, but it's cold now, getting colder every day. Currently dropped down to 9.9, which is just not good for them, but they're not sulking too much yet, so let's hope they hold on a bit longer. Okay then, so I've just done my Nexus clean, which I showed you in another previous video, so they're all good. I've removed the sponge sort of intake, which you'll see, and cleaned that out. That attaches to the outlet of the big tank, or the vat, so stops anything that accumulates in this vat going down out through that outlet and up through into the Backy River. Try and keep that as clean as possible. I appreciate it's quite difficult to see with the glare, but with all of the algae dying off now, there's a load of algae fines down in there, there's some leaves down in there, so we're just going to give that a good vac out and get rid of all that. So here we go with that. Forgive the noise. You can now see why it's important that we do this. A lot of fines, algae fines in there, some leaves. So not normally this bad, but coming into the winter, algae dies off, leaves are falling in, so it has to come out. Okay, now I'm happy that I've cleaned out all of the crap that was held up in the bottom of there. We will just remove the cap and put it in just in case anything goes through the centre. I'll tidy them leaves out that's remained in there, and then we'll move on and show you that will be placed back on. We'll just do that now, it's easy enough. Did you hear me just say that was easy enough? The joys of trying to do stuff while filming. Right, let's have another go. So simply just goes down there into the intake like that, and that, like I say, just stops it pulling in anything I don't want going into the Backy River. So we'll move on to the Backy River. It's underneath my couch and my table, a couple of hatches I'll have to lift up. I'll just explain. It's a bit of a DIY job. I had some vats, a vortex left over, some old media left over off my old pond, so we're just not wanting to throw anything away, put it together and it seems to be working so far, so I'll remove these, come back to you and we'll have a look at that. Right then, so that's the hatches lifted up. I've got some covers just out of old pond liner I made, stop leaves and etc. just getting in there I don't want in. So I'll remove them and then I'll come back to you again. Okay, so covers roll back. I'll just talk you through what happens here. The blue tub at the back, an old vat I had. So the two black pipes you see entering the tub come from the left hand side from that system of Nexus that's over there. Feed that. Right hand side, as you imagined, I guess now, Nexus on the right hand side. Feeds that. I've got an old Easy Center out of one of the X's that I didn't want to use. It's happy enough with the sponge. That is full of grog. Now, a lot of people don't like grog in a system because they can't keep it clean. Simple way for me to do that is to have a small air stone, which actually it's not even an air stone, it just connects to the pipe that comes with the original Easy. That's on a very slow bubble, just keeps everything out of the grog. But what I do for a good clean is a valve over here. It's the same, tied into the same pump which runs me to Nexus. It's over here. So we just fully open, which will give that a really good boil up. Not a lot coming out. I find just keeping it ticking over as I had it before doesn't really allow anything to settle in there. So after that, blue chamber connects into an old Vortex I had. The Vortex has got some bio house media in, just sitting in there static, hopefully getting a good covering of beneficial bacteria on it, which you will see what I do through the winter months. I relocate that into the system down to the bottom, on the bottom deck, as in the winter none of these filters up here run. They all get shut down, waterfall shut down, and the pond runs totally different. But we'll go into that in another video. After leaving the Vortex I had, inlet into an old, I think it was Oasis Biotech 10. It's my very original pond I had, some good 10-12 year back. Yep, in there, through the 6 set foams, that was all adapted so it leaks out the sides and outlets out the bottom of the old Biotech. Again, grog in some little plastic cages I made, ease of cleaning. I simply just grab a hold of them, lift them up and down a few times, shake out the little waste that's settled in there, and then that is that cleaned out. So I'm going to do that now. It's not the easiest thing to film, so I won't be filming and doing it, but I hope it explains the river system I put together underneath the decking, which the only thing is the 2 outlets that you see suck from the bottom, so anything that does gather on the bottom gets pulled out and sent back into the pond, which will then be picked up by the drum again, hopefully. But yep, there we are, from the river to the waterfall and back to the pond again. Now then, that's the Backy River all cleaned out. Covers all back on and hatches down. We're going to just top up the pond again of the water we've lost. The next step for me really is to go around and, as you can see, hoover up all of these leaves off the acer trees. I love mesa trees, love the look of them through the summer, so it's something I'm willing to put up with. Just have to go around and vac them off with the intention that stop as many as possible getting into the pond. So we'll do that next. I'm not going to bore you with that unless you really love the sound of the wet vac, which I doubt. My neighbours probably don't appreciate it much either, but we'll be as quick as we can. Then the next step that I'll do is inspect and scrape me fish, hopefully on a bit of a warmer day, so if I find anything I get a chance to treat before I totally shut them down into winter mode. See, like most people's fish, as soon as you put a hose pipe of fresh water going in, they like to gather around it. And then I'll show you I'll talk you through now slightly for an idea for the next video of how the pond actually runs through the winter. So as I mentioned, through the winter, none of the nexusts at the back or the Backy River or the waterfall run. What happens is my sieves either side, they're fed into the clean side of the sieve from the drum. I then use the sieves as my winter biochambers. They get filled with K1 and boiled with the air stone, just the same as the nexuses do, but is returned to the pond through the skimmer. The skimmer has really no use through the winter, so we'll be bottom drain into the drum to the sieve, boil the K1 in the sieve, and return from the sieve through the skimmer line back into the pond. That's how we do it. These are insulated as well as wrapped in wood. All of the pipe work underneath this lower decking is, well, the lower decking has 100mm Kingspan fitted in between the joists, so that's a nice insulated deck which all pipe work is underneath. We then use what can be quite controversial in the koi keeping world, but I cover the surface of my pond in the thermal pond balls, designed just to keep wind chill off really and help maintain all heat that you're getting from the ground. There's the feeder going off. I don't think they're going to be much interest because I've been messing around with it too much, so they'll probably be a bit spooked. But we'll see. Yes, so I use the thermal balls. I have a way of using them that I'm happy that they're safe. I leave a big open area in the centre of the pond, which is covered by some glass, which is then has a 200mm air stone underneath. So I am keeping a big surface area open for gas exchange, and it worked well last year, and it's what I'll be doing again this year, so I will show you that. But that will be in part 3 of the winter prep and the pond running in winter. So hopefully that'll be a few weeks, a month off yet. I won't have to do that video unless things really go cold. And what a sorry day that'll be. Well then, I just hope this helps everyone understand further how my pond runs if they were interested. I hope you're all getting on well with your own winter prep. Typical, the one day you get to use off work to do anything starts to rain, so I'm going to be signing off now, and I'll see you on the next one, and let's hope that winter doesn't come too soon. Thanks for watching, bye.